Hello and welcome to EUTV Sports Update. We'll be looking at the latest sports news from Evangel University and around the region. I'm Jared Jackson.
We'll also take a look at college football from across the nation and check out the latest happenings across the NFL. I'm Grant Binkley and this is Sports Update on EUTV.
It was really good to follow the scores and stuff online. They weren't at home, but Evangel football, it was good to see how they did this weekend, as well as the volleyball team.
Yeah, very dominating performance by the football team, absolutely dominant, and that's really what you want. Whether you're at home or on the road, you want to make yourself at home even if you're on the road. So a big road win, get the confidence up. We got a big home game this weekend. Let's see if we can finish out the season on a strong note and really take it to them.
Yep, and also cross country with one of their first ever home meets. That's pretty interesting, and to see that they're getting ready to have another meet this weekend. It's pretty close. It's close enough that people could attend them. Yeah,
that's one of the best things about a local college like this is it's easily accessible no matter what sport it is. So and that helps a lot of families, even families that have short distance to travel. And it's always good to keep the fan base close by.
Mm-hmm. Evangel Volleyball traveled to St. Louis to compete in the UHSP Classic on Friday and Saturday. Valor Volleyball opened the UHSP Classic on Friday afternoon, taking on Cotty College and Freed-Hardman University, looking to continue their winning streak. Evangel took care of business in Game 1, sweeping Cotty, while EU needed all 5 sets to get past Freed-Hardman, taking a 3-2 win and moving their winning streak to 6 games. They concluded the UHSP Classic on Saturday afternoon, taking on St. Francis and host UHSP. EU dominated on Saturday, sweeping both opponents and moving to 15-2 on the season.
Evangel football celebrated a hard-fought victory over number 14 Southwestern University this past Saturday. The Valor trailed 6-0 after the first quarter, but outscored Southwestern 21-6 in the second quarter. Southwestern then went on a 13-0 run in the third. However, in the fourth, Evangel scored 14 unanswered points to win 35-25. Though Southwestern dominated in the stats in total, yards, passing, and topped Evangel in time of possession. However, the Valor dominated the rushing game with 273 yards. Evangel's Eric Williams led the rushing attack with 29 carries for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Valor Cross Country remained in Springfield on Saturday morning, taking part in the Queen City Invitational at Allison Sportstown. Both teams ran hard at their home meet, with the men finishing second as a team and the women finishing fourth. The Valor women were led by a 20th place finish from Emily Harris, while Cadence Olschlager finished 33rd and Anna McCune finished 40th. The Valor men placed second as a team behind a 4th place finish from Ethan Montgomery. Blake and Ethan Smith rounded out Evangel's top 3 finishers on Saturday, as Blake placed 11th and Ethan placed for 13th. That was a big game for Evangel this weekend at Southwestern on the football field. What does that mean for them going forward?
Well, I mean, always, when you can pick up a win against a ranked opponent at their home field, that always lights the fire inside you for the rest of the season, and it also lets the rest of the division know, hey, nobody's safe from us. So, the best thing that anybody can do is turn any game into a home game.
Yep, and Eric Williams has been tremendous for them. Just always consistency at its best right there, just easy. Rushing the football for them.
Yeah, consistency is always key, and when you can find someone who can be consistent every game, on every down, and also help the team spread that consistency all around, you got some good things going.
Yep, and the volleyball team continues to win, and back behind some pretty special performances from Bella Wakely.
Yeah, she's definitely going to be missed with this being her senior year, but I guarantee you whoever replaces her, she will teach them, and they will be learning from the best. And like I said earlier, when one cog gets taken out of a machine, you put another one in, and that machine just keeps on running.
Mm-hmm. Coming up next, I'll be here with Camden Cessna to talk about the cross-country team.
And later, we'll take a look at the Missouri Tigers and their Week 3 matchup, as well as how the Chiefs fared against the Eagles. We'll be right back.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
Welcome back. I'm here with Evangel University head cross-country coach Camden Cessna. Thank you, Coach Cessna, for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So there's a lot of training that goes into cross-country. We know that. But what does that training look like?
For sure. For me, individually, I take things from a very individual perspective. I look at each athlete, kind of look at their background, their history, what kind of mileage have they done previously, their injury history, anything like that, to create a plan specifically for them. Throughout the summer, we're doing a lot of longer stuff, longer base building, aerobic base building work. And then as we progress throughout the season, that's when we really start getting into the more race-specific work and prepping us for conference championships in November and kind of those bigger meets that we have in October. So it's been a solid start to the season, but ultimately the training that we do really does prep us to get ready for that October, November, the championship season side of things.
Mm-hmm. So you're training in season versus out of season. What does that look like?
Yep, for sure. So over the summer, out of season, pretty much the great thing about distance running is pretty much every week of the year we're in season. Aside from the summer, that's our off season, but we're still prepping for the upcoming cross country season. But throughout the summer, a lot of it is just we're working on mileage, getting a good base built through the mileage side of things, some longer tempo runs, things like that. We do a lot of hills over the summer as well. Common saying in the cross country side of things is hills pay the bills, and so we spend a lot of time on hills throughout the summer, and then again as we get into the season, that's when we kind of get more specific into the more race pace specific stuff, some threshold work, that sort of stuff, just really dialing into that race pace and getting ready to run at that pace for 5K, 6K, 8K, whatever that.
What are some of the biggest challenges that come with running in cross country?
For sure. Obviously, there's the physical challenges of the physical fitness and being prepared in that aspect. One of the biggest things about running is that it is a very mental sport. So you want to be able to mentally prepare and be able to mentally perform throughout the race as well. And so not only being able to be physically fit and to trust that you are fit enough to race and do workouts how you need to, but also just from the mental perspective of being able to lock in for those long reps. Some of the workouts that we're doing, it takes 30, 45 minutes of just long, intensive work that we're doing, and being able to stay locked in and mentally and emotionally locked in for that long, it takes a toll on people. And so being able to be, just that emotional piece and be able to be very emotionally sound and very just ultimately that piece is one that is very underrated on the running side of things. Obviously, the physical side of things as well too. We do a lot of stuff both from the running side of things, weights, strength and conditioning, all that sort of stuff as well too. But the biggest piece is just that mental piece that a lot of people don't realize about.
Mm-hmm. Kind of shifting gears here. This is your first year at Evangel.
Yes.
And so how are you fitting in so far at Evangel? How are you liking it?
For sure. I've been loving it so far. It's been great. Being able to be part of just a Christ-centered community has been great. It's something that I've always been a part of. I went to Concordia University up in Nebraska, a good Christ-centered community up there. And it's just something that once I graduated from there and I kind of decided to get into the coaching side of things was something that I always wanted to get back to and to be a part of. And so the community here has been great. The team, a lot of times first-year head coaches, they come in, they've got to try to establish their culture and that side of stuff. I haven't had to do a lot because the kids here, we all think the same way. We all have the same beliefs and we all just kind of have that same work ethic. And so it's been a great transition and I've really been enjoying things here so far.
Speaking of the team, what are some goals that the team is looking to achieve this year?
Absolutely. We sat down at the start of the year and did our goal meetings to get rolling with everything, kind of get a good foundation and a good goal set for the season. I had them, each team, both the men and women, split separately, and then I had them each set several goals for themselves, both on the academic side of things, the athletic side of things, and the spiritual side of things. And so, first and foremost, I guess, from the spiritual side of things, one of the biggest things, especially on the guys' side of things, was just to be able to grow together and be able to worship together in a lot of senses, and be able to do all that together. And they came up with a saying of the 3 C's, and that was to be consistent, to be Christ-centered, and to be, I'm forgetting the last C now, gosh dang it, but there's a 3rd C in there. That they did a really good job of coming up with that kind of goal there for themselves. And then on athletic side of things for the men, they want to go to nationals. We're in a tough conference. There's some good teams at the top of the conference, and so we're looking to be up there with them and being able to keep pace with them, potentially beat them as well too, and punch our ticket to the national championships as a team. We do have some individuals that have been there in the past and are looking to repeat for sure on the individual side of things, but they want to have a team there with them. And on the girls' side of things as well too, they went through that same 3-step process of giving us the academic, the athletic, and the spiritual goals. Again, they wanted to be able to be intentional with each other and be able to spend that time to be intentional in that spiritual development side of things with each other. And then from the athletic side of things, they're hoping to send a team to nationals as well too. Last year, the women's team was close. Just missed out and we lost a few pieces from last year, but there's been some people that have stepped up well. And so that's the women's side of things as well too, is that goal is to get to Florida in November. It's a nice little trip. A little bit warmer in Florida than it is in Missouri in November. So that's been the goal for both teams so far.
Yep. What are some ways you can help the runners grow and develop to achieve those goals as a coach? Absolutely.
For me, kind of my coaching philosophy, it's trifold. So there's 3 pieces of it. First and foremost is that spiritual piece. So everything that we do, whether it be on the running side of things in our daily, our everyday lives, is kind of centered on that Christ-centered piece, being able to help them develop their relationship with the Lord, and being able to be a vessel for them to help them to achieve that. Through individual meetings, we're going through, checking in on things on how they're going, if there's anything that they need for me to help them grow in that side of things. It's just ways that I help check in with them. Academically, of course, we keep an eye on their grades. We want them to be successful in the classroom. One thing that I always say is that, I would love for every single one of my runners to go professional and go run in the Olympics, but, that's just not quite the realistic side of things. So I want them to be professional in the classroom as well, too, and be able to set themselves up for success in a career after college as well. And then, of course, athletically, all the training that we do, both from the running side of things, from the strength training, from the other auxiliary exercises that we do seek to keep them healthy first and foremost, so that they can kind of perform at their best on a week in and week out basis, and kind of stack those weeks of training on top of each other. But then, also it seeks to push them. Hopefully it doesn't put them in over their head to where they're getting injured and burnt out and all that sort of stuff. But it pushes them to develop them to the best of their abilities.
Thank you for being with us today, Coach Cessna. Best of luck with your fall semester. Coming up, we'll look at some of the college football and NFL games from the weekend. Stay tuned.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat.
Welcome back. In NCAA Division I news, the Missouri Tigers dominated at home against the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana University, winning by the score of 50-10. This victory extends the Tigers' home win streak to 13 games dating back to last season. Running back Ahmad Hardy had a breakout performance with 22 carries for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. Bo Pribula went 15 for 22 with 174 yards and 2 touchdowns in the air. Mizzou is set for a primetime showdown with the South Carolina Gamecocks this Saturday on ESPN. Mizzou also rose in the top 25 rankings from 25 to 23rd.
On Saturday, the Missouri State Bears hosted the Southern Methodist Mustangs for the Bears' first ever home FBS matchup. The Bears are coming off a huge road win against Marshall last week, while the Mustangs were reeling from an overtime loss to the Baylor Bears. MSU jumped out to an early 10-0 lead in the first quarter. MSU quarterback Jacob Clark threw for 275 yards and 1 touchdown, but was intercepted 3 times by the SMU defense. SMU was led by quarterback Kevin Jennings, who totaled 281 yards through the air and 1 touchdown. The difference in the game would be the SMU defense, who shut out the Bears after the first quarter, allowing the Mustang offense to outscore the Bears 28-0 after the first quarter. Bears lose their home opener 28-10. In a Super Bowl rematch on Sunday, the 1-0 Philadelphia Eagles traveled to Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes and the 0-1 Chiefs. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts threw for just 101 yards, and running back Saquon Barkley was held to only 88 rushing yards by the Chiefs. The Eagles in turn held Kansas City to only 294 yards, stopped the Chiefs once on 4th down, and came away with the only turnover on what could have been a Chiefs touchdown. Mahomes had just 187 yards passing, once again struggling to find open playmakers without suspended wide receiver Rashee Rice and injured teammate Xavier Worthy. Mahomes did have 66 yards and a touchdown on the ground, but the two-time MVP didn't get much help from anyone else as the Chiefs fell to 0-2 for the first time since the 2014 season. Chiefs lose to the Eagles in Arrowhead, 20-17.
Dallas Cowboys got a big overtime win in Big D at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas this past Sunday against the undisciplined New York Giants. The game was back and forth until Dallas kicked the game-winning field goal in overtime to win 40-37. Veteran quarterback Russell Wilson was 30 for 41 with 450 passing yards and 3 touchdowns for the G-Men. However, the G-Men had 21 penalties called on them. 4 of them came from left tackle James Hudson. Hudson committed all 4 penalties on the same drive. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott had a great day, going 38 for 52 and passing for 361 yards and 2 touchdowns. He finished the game with a 96.7% passer rating. And Los Angeles Chargers hit the road once again against Week 2 to take on divisional rival the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams entered the game at 1-0 record after Chargers took down the Chiefs and the Raiders beat the Patriots in Week 1. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert threw for 242 yards and 2 touchdowns while rushing for another 31 yards. The Chargers defense stifled the Raiders offense, limiting Raiders quarterback Geno Smith to just 180 yards and no touchdowns. The Chargers defense came up with 3 interceptions in the game that helped lead them to a 29 victory over the Raiders.
You know, it was good to see Mizzou come out with another W. Bo Pribula, man, he's looked fantastic for the Mizzou Tigers.
I think they may have found Brady Cook's replacement. You know, that was a big concern for the Mizzou Tigers when Brady Cook went to the NFL draft, but it's easy to see that they've found his replacement. He's their guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and the Chiefs, man, 0-2 to start the year. This is unfamiliar territory for Mahomes and Andy Reid even since 2014.
It is, but, you know, it seems like whenever the Chiefs find themselves in unfamiliar territory, they always find their way back. Everyone's wanting them to lose. Everyone's saying they're going to lose, but there's still a lot of football left to be played, and we'll see what happens.
Meanwhile, the divisional rival, the Chargers, man, they look very good behind Justin Herbert.
Yeah, the Chargers are definitely up and coming. I see them challenging the Chiefs for the AFC West title. It'll go back and forth. Obviously, Los Angeles owns the tiebreaker, but there's still a lot of football left to be played. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah, it'll be a really tough division this year.
It always is.
When we come back, we'll have the EUTV Player of the Week.
We'll also have upcoming Evangel games this week. We'll be right back.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for mental health and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
It's time now for the EUTV Sports Player of the Week.
This week's EUTV Sports Player of the Week is Bella Wakely of the volleyball team. In the team's 5 matches this last week, Wakely totaled 68 kills and 45 dids. Wakely recorded her season high in kills against Stevens College with 25 kills. Wakely is first on the team in kills this season with 194 kills, second in dids with 195 dids, and second in aces with 17. Wakely ranks 10th in the nation and in total kills. Congratulations to Bella Wakely.
You know, Wakely's been a mainstay for the volleyball team for some time now, and with her being a senior, it'll be hard to replace her next year.
It's always hard to replace a senior who contributes to a team, no matter what you're on. But that's the purpose of college sports, that you got to be like a machine, and when one cog gets replaced, you got to replace it with another one so that they can take over. And I'm sure with her leadership, she will make sure that her predecessor will be just as popular and just as good.
And now let's go to the upcoming games of the week.
Men's and women's soccer will be kicking off this Wednesday, September 17th, against Oklahoma Wesleyan in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. The women play a 5 o'clock game followed by the men at 7:30. Then they will be at home on Saturday, September 20th. Women against McPherson College at noon, and the men against McPherson College at 2:30.
Evangel football heads home this weekend on Saturday, September 20th for their 6:05 p.m. game against McPherson College. The game, of course, will be played at Nixa High School Stadium.
And the men's and women's cross country will be in action on Saturday, September 20th at the Southern Stampede at 8 a.m. at Missouri Southern State University at the Tom Rutledge cross country course in Joplin, Missouri.
Men's and women's golf on Monday, September 22nd and 23rd. Kansas Wesleyan University Invite is where they'll be in Newton, Kansas at the Sand Creek Station Golf Course.
And finally, the men's and women's tennis will be serving up the action September 19th and 20th at the KCAC Individual Fall Championship taking place in Lindsborg, Kansas at the Emory Lindquist Tennis Center. Go Valor!
Valor! You know, this weekend, that game there at Nixa will be really interesting to see. And it'll be interesting to see how the soccer teams do at Oklahoma Wesleyan this week, too.
Yeah, definitely a lot of action, and it's got something for everybody this weekend. We will have soccer, cross country, tennis, football, and basketball season's coming up, too, here pretty soon. Preseason starts, so lots of sports on the way. Fall season is definitely underway, and we're looking for a big season from everyone from Evangel. Mm-hmm. Well, that's all the time we have for today. For Sports Update, we invite you to check out euvalormedia.com for all the latest Evangel news and media. I'm Grant Bankley.
And I'm Jared Jackson. Please be sure to join us next week as we bring you the latest in sports news. For more information on Evangel Sports, go to evangelathletics.com. This has been Sports Update on EUTV.
Bye, guys.